It's very clear that Akosua has not read the newly proposed CI and the existing CI.
You insisted that nothing has changed.
Hold on.
Here, right here.
It's also very clear that you were not listening to me when I was speaking.
Oh, I did. I wrote everything.
Because if you had listened to me, you would have known that I said that there are two things that are in the newly proposed CI but are not in the existing CI. And that aside those two things, everything else is the same. Didn't I say that? You were not listening?
Those two things.
That is your problem. You don't listen. Hold on.
Because clearly
Hold on. My dear, you've had your time. You've had your time.
I thought that up until this time, up until this time, we've been able to listen to each other.
Yeah, so I think you should just
Okay.
That's good. So if you must come back.
Exactly. So I have never said anywhere that the existing CI is the same as the newly proposed CI.
You said it here.
I said that there are two things that are in the newly proposed CI that are not in the existing CI. But aside those two things, every other thing is the same, word for word, verbatim, everything. That is what I said. And I'm saying that these two new things which have been introduced in the new CI are the things which will lead to the rigging of the 2024 elections if accepted. So I'm not talking about what they have cut and pasted. No, that one, we are okay with the existing provisions. I'm talking about the two new things. So please, when you are listening, listening well.
Which are, how does that
endorse
the rigging?
Number two, it says that limited registration creates a lot of inconveniences. And so this new CI is going to promote continuous registration and deal with all the inconveniences that we usually encounter with limited registration. Clearly, she doesn't understand what she's talking about. Because, Doc, there is no law on limited registration in Ghana. The CI 91 we have, there is no provision in it called limited registration. It is Regulation 9 of CI 91, Sub-Regulation 3, which says that the EC can set periods for voter registration. Now, because of the nature of such registrations, i.e. being conducted within a limited period, that is why we call it limited registration. Doc, you understand? Because it is done within a specific period. Now, that provision on limited registration is in the newly proposed CI. So, limited registration has not been cancelled. Because, let me make it simple. I want to break it down so that everybody can understand. We don't have any provision in Ghana, no law in Ghana called limited registration law.
Nobody said so. There
is Regulation 9 of CI 91 which talks about period of registration, period. And Sub-Regulation 3 says the Commission may by a notice in the Gazette specify a period during which the registration of voters shall take place. Now, when they specify that specific period and they do the registration within that period, it is called limited registration because it is done within a specific period. And this provision,
in fact,
no, let me just land. And this provision is in the newly proposed CI. That is what she's not getting.
I mean, it makes sense because even with limited registration, it will be limited.
Yes.
Because, of course, you don't expect that somebody will wake up on the morning of a 7th December and say that I turned 18 today.
So register me. The terminal point is October.
Or even the day before the
Exactly.
election.
The terminal point is October.
Yes, because parties will have to be given register.
So it is still limited.
I guess that the point that I got from your 9 is that the assertion by the EC boss that this new CI is what is going to give
them power to do all year round continuous. It's a lie.
It's a lie because
it is already in the existing law.
Because 91 provides them
same word for word.
And that what is in the draft before Parliament today
is the same.
And what is in 91 is the same.
The same.
So
no
if
addition, no subtraction.
If this one is supposed to give you the opportunity
to do all year round,
the one in 91
can also
gives
give
you that. So this cannot be a case.
Exactly.
That's what you said.
That's it. Yeah. And number two, I am adding that your claim that limited registration is evil, it creates inconveniences and all that, is neither here nor there, because that the provision that allows for limited registration is in the new CI. That is the provision that allows the EC to set specific periods for registration. It is in the new CI, word for word verbatim. Again, he says that I'm a lawyer and I'm supposed to know that in 2012, under our to-be flag bearer, we passed a law, and that law says that we should use Ghana card for voter registration. What law is that? Can you tell us what law is that?
No, I said that when you mentioned in your submission that limited registration. Now let me just. No, please. I'm making a submission. I'm making a submission. I just wanted to know.
Sammy, just hold on a minute. Kindly allow her to answer you the way she deems fit.
Yes.
Oh,
kindly allow her.
No, he's made 3 points, and I want to go back to the very.
No.
I don't want to pick.
I didn't. I'm not.
Sammy,
Please.
you are picking.
No. Then wait. When it gets to your time. No, please.
If you want to respond to
you
the issues is raised.
You also backed him, and I want clarification.
Yes.
If you say limits, the EC chooses limited periods. That's what he said. The EC
specific period.
Specific period.
Yes.
Now this EC is saying there's a continuous process.
Yes.
It therefore negates that limited process that he's talking about, the limited period. So for instance, EC says between now and 2024, we're going to register July to September. Then we break. Then we'll register 2024, May to June. That's a possibility. Now those 2 periods, forget it. We can register all year through, all the way through to 2024 October. I do not understand why we would say
so
that.
Let me. It's good you have. Hold on. It's good that she has asked the question.
No, let me say.
You understand?
Let me say, because if you say this, it means that it's just a way to just say anything against G Mensa. I don't even know how this is a problem.
Can we?
The inconvenience.
Let me continue my submission. No, please.
Sammy, just hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Can I land?
On the basis of what you just said.
On the basis of what I'm saying, if there are 2 different periods that can be set by the EC called a limited registration exercise, where you and I know that travel can get in the way, sickness can get in the way, people turn 18, and when they turn 18, they can't register. And then let's say there's a period this month. When a person turns 18, that period has passed, they can't register. The following year, when there's another set period meant for them, maybe they're out of the jurisdiction or something, it means that you've disenfranchised the person. The only window available is that now let's discard the limited registration process that exists, that we have all admitted, which sets times we haven't even stated here. But a continuous process, any given time period until October 2024. It means that young people who will turn 18 years between this period until next year can register.
Okay, so Kosi, let me ask you this question on the basis of what you have just said. What in CI 91 empowers the EC, or what in CI 91 dissuades the EC from having a continuous registration exercise? And what in the proposed CI empowers the EC to have a continuous registration exercise?
The only thing I would only say in terms of the operation is that a continuous process could have existed. The only difference is they were not doing it.
Yeah, but I'm saying that how does, you see, what we are discussing now
is about...
Let's
a minute. The break is too long. Viewers may lose track.
What we are discussing now is a proposed CI. The Electoral Commissioner makes the point that this CI will enable a continuous registration process. Sammy says that if you read CI 91, which is the CI in force today, it does not dissuade the EC from having a continuous registration exercise. That in fact, there is nothing in this new CI about registration, which is not in the current CI. And therefore, her assertion that it is this new CI which will enable continuous registration is false, because what is in CI 91, Regulation 9, is exactly what has been lifted into the new one. And therefore, if the old one could not have allowed you to do continuous registration, then the new one could not have allowed you. if what you have put in the new one is exactly what was in 91, then really the 91 was not a hindrance.
There's no clause in the new one that allows
Zero. I have read it.
So if it's the
Z,
same, how does it allow continuous? How does it promote rigging, like he said? That's where
no, not a rigging. I'm just saying that
yes, but
the first part.
If it is same, and he has
Doc,
first, he
can
said,
I continue?
Listen, he said
Because
it is. He said it is the same. There's nothing new. That's how he started the submission. Then he says there are two things that seem new.
Two that are new.
Now you agree with him that they lifted what was in the old. And
no, with respect to Revelation 9, just that one.
Then it means that it's completely new. Then.
No, I'm saying that no. Just don't.
I'm just saying.
No, don't mix up the issues, because the 9 is in respect to continuous registration.
Okay.
And the point is that what is in the new 9 is exactly what is in the old 9.
Okay.
So the Electoral Commission boss cannot be saying that it is the new one that is enabling continuous registration.
Look.
Because that is exactly what is in the existing 91.
Okay.
Look.
That is to that point.
Now, to that point, as it is said, and there are no new arguments made, I do not see how that clause alone or that section alone can promote rigging, as he said.
Can I continue?
He's insisted
Nobody
that
has said
that's not what I heard.
that Revelation 9.
Said
Please, my sister.
The very first
no, he
thing
didn't say
said.
Revelation 9.
No, he didn't say Revelation 9.
Yeah.
He says introduction of this, which is no different. From
And I have told you.
Let him explain.
Yes.
I have told you the regulations.
Let him explain.
How does it cause rigging?
The
That's
two
what I'm
new
asking.
regulations
Because
in
let
the
him-
new
let him answer.
CI, which will lead to rigging,
How?
is Regulation 1, Sub-Regulation 3 of the new CI,
Okay.
which makes the Ghana card the only identification document for proof of nationality. Because in the existing one, you can use the passport or a guarantor form. But in the new one, you are using only the Ghana card, and therefore, based on NIA's own data, you stand the chance of disenfranchising millions of Ghanaians. Number one.
How?
Because the NIA says 3.7 million Ghanaians 15 years and above don't have the Ghana card.
But the NIA
And
also
can I
has given
finish?
data
Can I
that more
finish?
Ghanaians have Ghana
My dear,
cards more than a
can I
passport.
finish?
And you're
You see,
asking for a
there is a
passport
limit.
to be-
There is a
Okay.
limit to which we
Okay.
can all
Okay.
contain some of these things. So please,
Alright.
I beg you.
Okay.
So the NIA is telling you that 3.7 million eligible Ghanaians don't have the Ghana card, and the only hope they have of providing these people with the Ghana card are the empty assurances of an empty finance minister. You understand? I'm saying that, assuming they even give them the money, other logistical challenges, network challenges, can create situations where some Ghanaians may still not have the Ghana card and therefore may not be able to register for a voter's ID. And so, if you insist on making the Ghana card the sole identification card for proof of nationality, then what you're doing doesn't make sense. And what you're doing with disenfranchised people. Because in every country in the world, there are 175 countries in the world. In all these countries, passports is proof of nationality. In all the countries of the world. That's number one. Number two, you yourself. You said here, when doctor asked you the question, that what is in the new CI that promotes continuous registration, but it's not in the existing CI, you said that what you can say, I want you to know that I listen very well when you're talking. What you can say is that it was there, but they were not doing it. That is what you said.
No, I'm saying that
It's always been there, but they will not be doing it. Continue.
For the EC.
No, that is your answer.
Yes.
And I want to tell you, if the law already exists, but they are not implementing it, is the antidote a new law? The antidote is to do what the existing law says. The existing law says that the EC shall conduct continuous registration, all year-round registration. Look, there are two forms of registration in our electoral laws. When you check Regulation 9, continuous registration spelled out under Regulation 9.1 and 2. Then limited registration under Regulation 9.3. In the new CI, it is the same. Continuous registration under 9.1 and 2 and limited registration under 9.3. They have not changed anything. What that means is that the EC can do the periodic limited registration that usually targets a lot of people, and then after that, do continuous registration for people who could not have registered during the limited registration. It is already in the law. Nothing new.
But
So what I am saying is that the claim that this law is now coming to promote all year-round continuous registration is a barefaced lie. And you yourself, I think that you've come to that conclusion.
Why is it a barefaced lie? I want to understand.
It's a barefaced lie because the law in existence, CI 91, already provides for all year-round continuous registration.
Was it being done? Could you just go to the EC's office and get a card? Let's say
if it was not being done, then the antidote is not a new law. The antidote is doing what the existing law says. That is common sense.
The new law.
Let me continue. Let me continue. Now, let's move from here. If you still don't understand this, then every viewer watching me will agree with me that this is self-inflicted confusion. It is still simple. But the question I asked you, which you dodged, I am coming back to that question. You sat here and said that in 2012,
at least 2 million people who are eligible to vote who don't have passports.
I think you should control Akosua.
It's okay. The substance is the Ghana card.
Yeah, under normal circumstances, I will not allow the second. But
we're getting along. We're having a good day.
No, you want to spoil the day, and I don't want to spoil yours.
Commander, I'm sorry.
I don't want to spoil yours.
He's the communication director of the NDC.
I don't want to spoil yours.
Hold on. I won't spoil yours.
You sat here and said that in 2012, under John Mahama, we passed a law that made it mandatory for us to use Ghana card for registration. And I am asking you, viewers are watching you, cameras are on you. Which law is that?
Please, let me.
You didn't know the law.
Please, I do not quote law like you do. That one here.
So what is the law? What is the law?
Let me just
call Richard Ahiagba or your attorney general to send you the law. You don't even know the law, and you are here saying the law is what I read to you. The Mensa. Hold on.
I'm reading from. Okay, so.
You asked the question.
Okay, please, what is the law? What's the law?
I'm sorry. The NIA provision, okay, where, 1 second. Now, the mandatory...
You're talking about Revolution 7?
Yes.
That is a 2017 law. Go and check the title. It's a 2017 law, not 2016. It's 2017 law.
So 2017
yes.
law.
It is called National Identity Register Regulations LI 2111 2017.
Can be used to... the national identity card issued to an individual shall be used for the following transactions where identification is required.
So when
no, but we can give and take back. I mean, we're all.
I only asked you the law.
Take it.
And now you have been corrected that it's not a 2012 law. It's a 2017 law. So I have to continue to make my submission.
When people register at the EC, they don't go there saying I have LI 234 and I have LI 456.
Doc.
All they want is a document which can allow them to register. Now, the limited, I just asked you, if I go to the EC's office right now, or let's say from between 2020 to 2023 now, if I just walk in and I want my voter's ID card, is it possible for me to get it? No, because what
you are setting your own questions and you're proceeding to answer. You've deviated. We are speaking about the law you claim mandates the EC to compel people to use the Ghana card for voter registration. We now know that it is not a 2012 law, but a 2017 law. So don't let her allow me. Let her be quiet so that I can continue.
Literacy. And the majority of Ghanaians don't have.
We will get there. Don't jump the gun. We will get there. We are going step by step.
The EC has said that a continuous process would ensure that you can go to any district office and get duly registered.
We are talking about LI211. Look at what you're talking about.
But that's what my focus was on.
This is not how
this would take. No, if he is saying that this, you see, there's something weird about the law and it hasn't changed. But that is, for me, that's not the substance of the matter. The substance of it is the passport that you are talking about is not a source document that everybody carries around. Most people only get a passport when they want to travel. But the Ghana card, as we've been educated, is that card that's going to be that one ID that everybody has. And that same ID is tied to registration. Now you are making an argument for a passport even in your submission. Yet the NIA has provided data to show you that over 2 million Ghanaians have a Ghana card more than they have what? A passport.
Doc, can I continue?
If you had to, if you had the data to be
this is not the input to the point you're making. It's like you don't understand what we are talking about here. You don't understand what we are talking about. Doc, this heckling is too much.
Mensa has not done anything wrong.
You are being.
I'm not being anything.
You are being disruptive.
From now to
you are being very disruptive.
As she has articulated, You can register at any given point in any district
Well,
office
you're
by
being
October
distracted.
2020.
You're being distracted. Stop that.
the issue
listen.
with that is that I watched Jim Mensah.
Okay.
To the extent that she said
Okay.
that this new CI, if passed, will enable continuous registration, she lied. Because what is in the new CI, which she will rely on for continuous registration, exists in CI 91. And so there is nothing new in this CI, which is not in CI 91, which will enable that.
So the old CI allowed for continuous registration?
Yes!
But did it say continuous registration all year through or limited registration?
I'm saying that the text,
You-
if you read
I want-
the,
let me- I want
if
to-
you read the new CI and you read 91, word for word, punctuation for punctuation is the same.
Okay,
There
Doc.
is
So
no
the National
Doc, I'm on the
Identifications Register Regulation, the same one we are referring to, and this is the 2012 one that I'm looking at, the mandatory use of national identity card. It's here. It's also copied here. And
It's been amended.
it's been amended,
Listen.
but then it existed in 2012.
It's been amended. The
this scheme
provision.
was introduced in 2017.
Doc, can we
So, I mean,
continue
this
this
your
program?
gaslighting is legendary. But
Can-
let me
can we-
come
can-
back to this. The
What is happening here, Doc?
Is the Electoral Commission relying on the 2012 law or the
The
law
EC is
amended
quoting
2017?
2017 law. So what are you talking about here?
And you just said it
Let
was
me
amended.
continue my point.
But
Let
my
me continue my
question
point.
is, Randy, I'm
Doc,
asking.
Doc,
I want to be clear.
Doc.
I want to be clear.
Okay,
on
so
something.
final
Since
question.
we are
Let's
all-
ask
we
your
are-
question.
we are
then
all-
we'll move on. Let's
we're
ask
all
your
learning.
question. Let's ask your question.
We're all learning.
Let's ask
I'm
your
not
question.
learning.
Could you,
Yes.
at any point in time, go to the EC's office to register, unless the EC has spelled out a window for registration? Which was
Let me give you an answer.
no,
You
please.
couldn't.
Let me give you an answer.
You couldn't, but
Sammy.
it is not because of a defect in CI 91.
No, the reason why you
It's
couldn't.
not even
No,
about
hold
the
on.
CI. It's about
In
their
fact,
No, we
the
are
laws.
discussing
Hold
CI.
on.
Okay.
In fact, the Supreme Court of Ghana has ruled that any time any Ghanaian goes to the EC office to be registered, the person should be registered.
But
The only reason why the EC has not taken advantage of the existing law to do all year-round continuous registration is not because of any defect in the law. No, it's because they have not agreed with political parties on the modalities for
As the
continuous
law
registration.
says.
As the law says.
Which is the new
Which is the same thing in the
is
law.
the text in the
You
proposed
can
CI.
only do it by agreeing on the modalities
And is the
with
new
political
CI
parties.
curing that problem?
Now,
don't
Doc.
It's not. They just carried the same.
Now, Doc, the point I'm making.
So does it mean then that then it also doesn't mean
so
that
Mrs. Mensah should not have said to the committee of
Doc,
the whole that
because
the
I
new
have a
one
lot
is
to
what
say,
will
so let me
enable
continue.
continuous
Yeah.
registration.
Now, Doc.
okay?
now,
So
Doc.
so that
So let's
that
hear
aside,
Sammy
now.
but
Yeah,
then it fails to justify
Okay.
rigging or introduction of
Yes,
foreign
so because let's hear
Yes.
Sammy now.
So now, Doc,
Thank you.
the regulation 7 she's talking about, she's read it.
Yes.
I'm saying, let's read it well.
You said there's a first one in
national
2012.
identity
You agree
card.
that the 2012 one exists, but the 2017 has been amended. So there was a 2012 one.
Okay, let me read.
Because I have
let
two
me read.
documents.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
A national identity card issued to an individual shall be used for the following transactions where identification is required. Okay? And it says, J, registration of voter. I'm saying when you read it says, issued to an individual. So if the card has not been issued to 3.7 million Ghanaians who are 15 years and above, you cannot compel them to mandatorily use the Ghana card they don't have anyway.
Why?
For voter because they don't have it.
But
The
they
law
have it,
says
sir.
you can only compel them to use the Ghana card for these services if it has been issued to them. Whether the law was 2012 or 2017, what I'm drawing your attention to is what the law says. It says the national identity card issued to the individual shall be used. So
Okay.
it only applies to people who have been issued with a Ghana card.
Okay.
And so to the extent that millions of people have not been issued with the Ghana card, you cannot force them
Sammy,
to use the Ghana card for voter registration because they don't have it.
you go through a
Now
process
hold
before
on.
getting the Ghana card.
Hold on. Now, she now says that guarantor system. We in the NDC promised in 2020 to scrap guarantor system for student loans. So why are we against the scrapping of the guarantor system from our electoral laws? Clearly, you don't understand the difference between the two.
You're the only person who understands everything.
Because no, Akosua.
Because
you cannot compare. Hold on.
You can't say when somebody hasn't been issued, they can't vote. If you want a card, you go to the post.
That's not what I'm saying.
You get a card. You don't just sit down and get a card.
That's not what I'm
saying.
It's a process. Wait, that's not what I'm saying.
It's mischief.
Don't jump the gun.
It's mischief.
What I'm saying is that for student loan, you need a public servant who's worked for a number of years, earn a certain salary, has SNAIT contributions and all that, to guarantee for you before you can get a student loan as a student. It is onerous, it is tedious. You can promise to take that out of the system. You understand? And make it easy for everybody to apply for the student loan and get it. But for voter registration, because not everybody will have a passport.
Government has already implemented that and it's well underway. We know that exists. Yes.
Because not everybody will have a passport, because not everybody will have a Ghana card, okay, you want to give people the opportunity to fill the guarantor form and have their relatives vouch for them or people who know them vouch for them. It is not the same as the student loan guarantor arrangement. And that is why. And so I want to ask you a question. If you're saying that the guarantor system is a bad system which has to be scrapped, then the Ghana card is a useless piece of plastic material.
And why did you start registration?
It must be thrown away. Because you know why? Because millions of people who have the Ghana card today got it through the guarantor system. This is, I hold in my hand Act 950, the National Identity Register Amendment Act 2017. Okay. Now, Section 8 says that Section 8 of the principal enactment is amended by the substitution for subsection 1 of, so this is what Section 8 now reads. Because at first, other documents were allowed that now has been changed in the current law. The authority, NIA, shall require an individual who applies for an entry to be made in the register to submit any of the following identity documents: a birth certificate, a valid passport, a valid residence permit, a valid certificate of acquired citizenship, and any other information as may be required by the authority. Now this has been changed, and this is the new law. Where an applicant, no, in fact, this is the new law. I'm reading 950, the 2017 one. So what this means is that under the Ghana card law, the NIA law, you can get a Ghana card with your passport and all the other documents I've mentioned. But this is what the subsection says. Where an applicant is unable to submit any of the documents specified under subsection 1, the authority shall require a relative of the applicant to identify the applicant under oath. That is the guarantor system. Or 2 persons determined by the board to identify applicant under oath, where the applicant has no known relatives. So even the Ghana card, almighty Ghana card, your relative can vouch for you. Or non-relatives, 2 of them can vouch for you. So then if the guarantor system is bad and will lead to minors and foreigners getting onto the voters register, then why are we even going to use a Ghana card for voter registration? Because many acquire the Ghana card through this same process that Jim Mensah says is subject to abuse and leads to minors and foreigners getting onto the voters register.
There's a difference now, with the guarantor system with NIA.
What's the difference?
The difference is that the guarantor of the one who is getting the ID, their card is linked to that person's Ghana card. So if there's any infractions or whatever should arise, it's easier to pinpoint the person so that that person also gets...
When it says linked to it,
under the EC1, the guarantor must be a registered voter.
Yes.
And that registered voter's data is with the EC.
Yes.
How? No. So what the NIA is saying is that to make to make people accountable. Previously, there could be several guarantors. People just hold people's hands, and this is what people have said. People crossing borders and coming into the country to register. So there are people who are constantly guaranteeing people, quote unquote. Now, what the system does is there's a limit to the number of people that you can.
It's the same under the EC system. You can't guarantee for more than 2 people.
That's fine, but the point is
what's the difference?
The difference is the struggle about getting a Ghana card is no different from getting a birth certificate or a passport or whatever. Those documents can be a problem, but the processes have been bettered under this government. However, what's the argument
you are saying that there's a difference between the guarantor
card
system of the NIA relative to the acquisition of a Ghana card?
Yes, because
and that of the EC. What is the difference?
You can tie the person that's guaranteed if there
How
should
do
be
you tie?
a problem. If it should come up that the person is a foreigner in the NIA system, you can find out who.
Yes, and in the EC system, do you know that the EC's registration system is biometric as well?
Hold on.
And so
that makes the rigging impossible.
No, so listen.
Then that makes the rigging impossible.
That is why the guarantor system must be there. Because it's the same thing. Hold on.
It's there.
Under the EC system,
it's there.
CI 91 has a guarantor form.
That's fine.
So the one guarantee for you, his details will be there, his name, his polling station, his voter's ID, everything is there.
Which means
and he swears an oath.
That you are talking
and
about.
So if anything happens, if he lies, he can be traced.
His biometric means that the EC is on the right part.
No, they are in the wrong part for scrapping this good system from the electoral system, yet are relying on a Ghana card, which can be acquired with the same guarantor system.
Now,
so let's move on. Again, Doc.
We are talking about making it easier for people to go through a certain process. If the Ghana card is that one source document, and the EC trusts that yes, the NIA has done that good job, it's enough for you to use the Ghana card to register. You don't need any guarantees anymore.
So what about those who don't have the Ghana card?
If you don't have, you register. That is why she's saying there's a continuous all year round process till 2024 October. You and I sat here and I asked you, have there been different dates for limited
as we sit here, is there any certainty that by the end of October 2024, every eligible Ghanaian will have the Ghana card?
Let me
you
tell
can
you,
say that the NIA is an institution. They can only make projections. But operational challenges can affect their timelines.
Sammy,
and Kenneth Efua has said so. And that is why when Oslo Usu sought to block SIM cards on the basis of this Ghana card thing, Kenneth Efua said that we cannot work with your timelines. Because as an institution, we are a living organism. We always have operational challenges. It can be network, it can be logistics, it can be financial. We can even have problems with our suppliers.
The certainty is
we were in this country
when
a pandemic.
When the General Secretary asks Ghanaians to boycott the Ghana card, the certainty is that
when we are talking about one thing, you jump to another. When we are talking about one thing, you jump to the. We don't have intellectual discussions like that. Randy, listen.
Akosua,
you're being distracted. Where from all these things?
You said where is the certainty?
Where from this? Red herrings, irrelevant matters. When we are discussing serious issues.
People wouldn't register. You ask people not to register. 10 million Ghanaians are registered.
Nobody in the NDC.
Will continue.
Let me deal. It's a lie. Nobody in the NDC told anybody not to register for the Ghana card.
Never said
it's a lie.
Don't
repeat it anyway. Number two. Let me continue.
Lying is.
She said that I said that majority of Ghanaians are illiterate. I've never said that anyway. I didn't interject.
You don't listen to yourself.
I didn't interject.
You don't hear yourself when
she spoke.
You said it.
But look at the way she's interjecting and heckling and all that.
You said it when you spoke. You did.
What I said was that
because
of the level of illiteracy in Ghana.
I'm just taking you through further training. In view of your new status.
I'm cool. I'm cool.
In view of your new status.
I'm very
at
calm.
home, so I'm just taking you through further training.
I said that because of the level of illiteracy in Ghana, it is possible to have some people come to a district office of the EC to register. And when they get back home, they may not be able to locate their polling stations. When people go to polling stations to register, as has been done over the years through limited registration, they know that on election day, I will vote where I registered.
Right.
It's just a matter of walking back to that location. But here, you're going to have a lot of confusion on the ground. That is the point I sought to make. So don't say that I said that the majority of Ghanaians are illiterate.
Even that explanation
again, Doc, and this is what I will say finally. This issue about agents, that for me is the real issue. Because you see, even the Ghana card thing is very serious, but it is not as serious as the issue of the center of registration. Because Ghana card, we can battle it out, right? A lot of people should go for the Ghana card and all that. Those who will not have it by October 2024 will be disenfranchised. That is there. But what is more dangerous is the choice of registration centers, because under the new CI, the registration centers will be the district offices. And I'm saying that at the district offices, it is not possible for political parties to deploy agents for all polling stations in those districts at the district office. And don't tell me that it's not necessary. If it was not necessary, the law will not say that political parties should be there during registration.
You said it's not necessary.
If it was not necessary, G-Mensa will not say that political parties may observe. It is a necessity. That is why every day during voter registrations, agents can challenge people. They fill challenge forms. And it goes through a dispute resolution process spelled out under our electoral laws. How are political parties going to be able to recruit agents, pay them, feed them perpetually, forever, and station them at where would they be sitting at the district offices? Where would they be sitting? Outside or inside? Which conference halls or rooms at the district offices of the EC can contain 100 people or 200 people? So it's not possible. So at the end of the day, they are going to transfer people who are not supposed to be registered in certain districts there to register, and there will be nobody to check. This is the surest way of rigging the 2024 election. It's as simple as that. This is the main reason why I say this new CI is intended to rig the election. And so sometimes you hear people say, oh, NDC, encourage your people to go and do the Ghana card. We can encourage everybody to go and do the Ghana card, provided the NIA will get the needed resources and the logistics and the data to even register them. Fine. But at the end of the day, the Center for Registration is the EC district office, where it will not be possible for us to monitor the registration process and know that this person does not vote here, this person votes here, this person does not reside here, because you can only register where you reside.
Right.
But at the district office, it's not possible to do that.
Okay.
And so we must all rise up. And that is why we have served notice through the Minority Caucus that will be holding a major public forum on this matter in the coming days to explain the issues to the understanding of the ordinary Ghanaian.
All right.
And we'll be engaging CSOs, the clergy, the chieftaincy institution, and other stakeholders to carry them along in this advocacy.
All right.
This is not just about NDC. This is about a group of people who have hatched a plan to manipulate the next elections. Something that can undermine the peace, democracy, and stability of this country. And so every well-meaning Ghanaian has a duty to resist this. And I salute our members of parliament for the yeoman's job they have done so far. I salute Mr. Speaker for the yeoman's job he has done so far. And they are our only hope now. We will do the advocacy, we will get them the needed public backing. But I'm sincerely praying that they will have the tenacity and the resilience and the perseverance to block this evil CI from being laid before Parliament in its current form, because it doesn't portend good for this country.
Okay.
I'm done.
Randy,
If anybody doesn't understand
that
these basic things again, then
if you intentionally do not want to understand, that's okay.
it's self-inflicted.
Randy, there's always a red flag when you hear primarily the NDC question the EC. I can understand that opposition parties want the system to be better, but any time that they've raised a red flag, you'd realize that that process they are trying to stop is actually a process that will better the process, the electoral process. Now, he mentioned the Ghana card, somebody going to a district office, yet they don't know their polling station. The Ghana card, in registering your Ghana card, you state your location, and most people...
He's referring to EC registering at district office.
Yes, you say you go to a district office.
Yes,
the
of the
district
EC.
office of the EC. When you go and you are holding your Ghana card captures a location. So that data, the EC will have that data.
Which location?
Your Ghana card, you write when you are registering a Ghana
but
card.
where I
you
register
capture.
from is not the same as where I vote.
But that's what you choose to do.
Yeah.
Normally,
Yes.
most people do so within their vicinity unless something takes them out one way or another. Some people live in Accra and go to Kumasi to go and vote and whatnot. But there are people that vote around their areas, a lot of them. Now, I do not want to... I've sat here and I've tried to understand how rigging will be possible. And it seems that Sammy knows everything about rigging, but doesn't know how to collate results. That's the amount of time they spent in 2020 fighting the EC and doing all sorts of things creating a hostile environment, distracting from important issues. But at the end of the day, when they screamed rigging and screamed election malpractices and that the votes had been stolen and it went to court, even their own general secretary could not use a calculator to give the total votes they got. I think that we can admit that certain things can be done right, and it's okay. But to constantly, create and throw confusion into the air like he's done today, without showing how the rigging can be done, is enough to say that we embrace, and I think so, for me in particular, the continuous registration process. I have several people I know who I wanted to vote. They couldn't vote because within that time frame, they couldn't register. Whether it was in the new or not in the new, now they are saying that you can register till October 2024. I believe that education should go around to everybody, so
There's
that people
of age.
That
says that.
It doesn't matter, because what matters the most here is that the rigging was not substantiated. What matters is that G-Mensa, quote unquote, being called a liar and all sorts of inappropriate names today, it doesn't take away from the fact that she's hands-on and she's doing what is necessary to ensure that we have a fair and firm institution as the EC should be.
All right.
So I would encourage everybody out there, get your Ghana card. As the NIA is saying, there's some sort of a mop-up, and they're also going to ensure that people get their cards in a timely fashion. And that is going to be the source document for the 2024 elections. And I believe that it helps the process to get better.
All right.